Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of Candid Conversations. Today, we have with us two very special guests. Amit and Varun are two engineers from IIT Roorkee who share a passion for innovation and the development of business. They have been actively involved in AI and blockchain and have been using their experience to nurture multiple businesses. Varun and Amit founded Fan Anywhere in 2021 and now have launched a product called YOFT, which aims to revolutionize the subscription based businesses. Let's welcome Amit and Varun with big round of applause. So, welcome guys, and really happy to host you here. So, how's it going and how's the company going on?
Thanks for inviting us, and it's our pleasure to be here. Well, we are doing great now. Like, of course, we all know that last year there was a lot of hiccups, ups and downs, some of the unexpected things happened in the space. But overall, the space is still growing, and we see a lot of enthusiasm, and that is the good thing. Like in the current time, you can see most of the people who are active in the space, they are like genuine people who are actually building something. So it is good to converse with people, and still like we see a lot of amazing response from the people for the entire community.
Okay, that's really great. So, Amit, I have a question for you. Like, can you explain the subscription model for the users or for the audience? Like, what exactly is the subscription model and how does it basically work for the businesses?
First of all, thanks for inviting us, Ashmit. Really my pleasure to be here. Talking about subscription model itself, it's a business model which has been around for a few years now. It got started through SaaS companies. Now it's being used for everywhere we see, right? I mean, globally in every space we talk about, be it grocery delivery, be it Netflix, streaming services, music services. So any field you enter, you see the subscription everywhere, right? What it is all about. So basically, in simple terms, subscription itself, the model is where customers pay a recurring fee, either monthly or annually, in order to use a particular product or services, right? So that's something in very simple terms. Why it is working is again on one factor is that customer doesn't have to pay a lot initially. They can pay a small amount every month, and they can use the whole service or product, right? They don't have to pay. Let's say if you have to pay $1,000 for a product online, you will hesitate to do that. But if I ask you to pay, let's say $100 every month, you will find fine using it, right? So that's the whole mantra of success around subscription model. Second, again, I mean, it's really it really helps businesses generate consistent revenue, predictable revenue as well. Because I mean, if you have 1,000 subscribers in your base, what you have to do, you have to just retain them. You have to focus toward retaining them, not acquire new customers every day as much as you have to do in other type of models, right? So that's one thing. If you compare it with let's say paper use model, which is again something where customers pay for every usage of either product or services, where there is a huge problem of again, I mean, maintaining that revenue consistently, right? If the market changes, let's say it's COVID, right? Suddenly all your customers are gone, right? But in subscription, you have a certain period where you can maybe pivot, right? You can maybe pivot to a certain model, certain different model. You can add something different which excites your audience, right? So you always an option to move to other models, right? When the third model you said is ad-based model, which again we see at most of the places. Again, very much depends on customer retention, right? How customer is thinking at that particular time, right? What kind of audience are you targeting it, and that defines the whole ad model as well, right? So overall, just to summarize it in brief, I mean, subscription model is something which is there from last 6-7 years now, and it's going to be become even more popular as we move ahead.
Okay. So, can you explain more about like pay-per-use and advertisement-based models and how is basically the revenue different from general models?
Yeah, exactly. So in case of pay-per-use, I mean, if let's say, I mean, in case of telecommunication, right? I mean, we use these different networks like Geo or Vodafone or Airtel, right? There is an option to always pay per call or per SMS, right? Or per 1 GB or per 2 GB, right? That's the kind of pay-per usage you are doing, right? Uh, when we talk about advertisement model, you take an example of YouTube, right? You are showing ad on your content, right? And the customer, I mean, these brands or different companies are showing their advertisement, and in return, you are getting paid for that particular content, right? So that's
Correct.
the whole idea of, I think, pay per use and advertisement model.
Okay. So Varun, like how has the subscription model evolved in the last few years or in the past decade? And what do you think is the major reason driving its growth? Like if you can shed some light onto that.
Yeah, sure, Ashmit. So in the recent times, we have seen a lot of rise in the subscription models. Like before, there were very few subscription models, but now almost in every sector, we have seen that there is some kind of subscription available. Earlier, it used to be mostly like the fitness sector, or you pay monthly fees for the gym. That was the kind of subscription. One of the major driving factor for this is in the rise of you can say digital products and services. With the rise of internet, it has become much more easier for brands to deliver their products and services online. And now with the online payment system and everything, it is much easier for people also to subscribe for it and just make the payment online or automate the payment and receive the services. Another key factor is also in the growth of demand for personalization, because people now want personalized service. They don't want like a general kind of service. So when you subscribe for a product or service, you can give your preferences and what you like or you don't like, and then the brands can design the service as per your needs. Like suppose if you want a meal service, you can say that, oh, okay, you want a low fat or a keto diet, and then like you can receive that every day. So those are also the driving factors. Like it provides a greater flexibility for the people, that okay, when I can subscribe, and it is also the convenience to the people because of the different kind of subscription models. Like say for example Amazon Prime. So with the one subscription, you get like free deliveries also, you get your OTT platform also. So people tend to uh, most of the services which we get today, they have like one way or other way of the subscription there. And another is the biggest shift in the subscription based rise of the e-commerce. So in India, it is still not that famous, but if you see the US market or the European market, there is a huge sector for subscription boxes. So like
Right.
from the grooming product to pet products to toys to everything, you get a subscription box available. You subscribe for it and you get a box every month or every quarter, which has like curated product as per your needs and preferences. So that works a lot. Even in India, like to give you an example, like there is a company Flinterbox that sends monthly boxes of the toys and learning materials for the kids. So that gives convenience to the consumers, that okay, you just subscribe for one service and every month you get a curated thing. So these are definitely the key factors which are driving it, and we will see more and more companies evolving in this space in the coming time for sure.
Okay. So Amit, like what apart from personalization and I would say uh, personalization and the other thing that Varun mentioned is flexibility. So apart from these things, like there are many major players that are like coming into this subscription-based platform and subscription-based services, as Varun took a name of one giant, that is Amazon. How do you think, like what are the other key factors that are actually contributing to the growth of these subscription-based platforms?
That's a great question, Ashmi. So yeah, Varun pointed out the right things. I mean, regarding personalization, which is really important. But first of all, I think the most important factor would be providing actual value proposition of whatever you are selling, whether it's product or services, whatever you have. Unless and you don't have a strong value proposition, you are not going to acquire your customers, or at least you are not going to retain them, right? So that's the first thing which every business entering into subscription space should take care of. Another aspect would be around pricing strategy, right? I mean, to sit around to see the competitors, to work on their audience base. What kind of pricing model will work on their audience set, right? Which could differ a lot from one business to other, right? And keeping it very clear and precise so that customers, after going to your landing page or after knowing about your brand, don't get confused on which option should he select, right? So defining those pricing point is really important. Once you acquire the customers, let's say, the most important factor again comes in subscription business, which is really talked about, is around retention, right? Because it's not other kind of traditional business where you keep on acquiring new customers every day at a very aggressive pace. right? So you have to retain your user base, right? You have to invest, right? You have to provide additional features if there need to be, right? You have to analyze the competitors in the market at the same time, right? So that becomes a very important part where you kind of keep investing money as well as time to retain the existing set of subscribers, right?
Right.
The point which Varun mentioned again is around personalization, right? Which is very, very important in today's market. Not very important, I think I will say 5 years before. But now people care about their own choices, right? What they need is very different from what my family, other family members need, right? So, or what my friends need. So in that case, given the current internet era, or the given what kind of data these companies have at this point of time, it becomes a bit easier to personalize the services as per your need, right? And that you have to do from day zero. I mean, there's no excuse at this point of time that you don't have data or something. You have to get those data, you have to analyze, and then you have to act on it, right? So
Yeah.
basically, if you see, I mean, in nutshell, I mean, you have to have, as a subscription company, you have to have a very clear understanding of your audience. You have to have marketing plans. You have to have retention plans in place. And then you can, I mean, obviously, personalization is one other aspect. If you take care of all these things, I mean, I guess, I mean, subscription business can have a very big impact in this particular space. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Varun, as Amit mentioned, that proposition and pricing, the third thing he mentioned that I really am curious about is retention. So these are the few challenges that I see majority of the players face because retention is something that we keep on seeing that as soon as there is a slight change in the proposition, the retention of users gets changed, and all of a sudden the new player who is into the market starts offering that service. The complete user base just jumps onto that. Like I was recently reading about Hotstar losing its like losing its subscribers to Geo Cinema because now Hotstar won't be able to, I would say, uh, telecast IPL live. So what apart from these are the major challenges that you feel contributes to the retention and other challenges that this category faces in general?
Yeah, thanks, Asmit. I think see, before retention, one of the biggest issue which a subscription company starts with is like getting people signed up, getting your initial subscribers. If you are a big giant already providing services like say Amazon, you are already in the market for years, and then suddenly you launch a Prime membership, it is easier for you to get customers. But if you are a new company starting a new business in a new sector, say toys for pets or something like that subscription box, it is very difficult for you to get your initial subscribers. That is the first challenge. And second, as we have already discussed multiple times here, is like the retaining the customers. As you rightly mentioned, like it also depends on the market sentiments and what people want. IPL is huge in India. Whichever
Right.
platform will be offering IPL, people will move to that. But again, it might be a seasonal shift because there were, say, when Game of Thrones was being telecast or something on the Hotstar, people were there. But now when IPL, people have moved to Geo Cinemas. But once the IPL is over in 2 months, if Geo Cinemas they don't have good content on their platform, people will again move out to other platforms because now people have a lot of choices. So this is very important, which Amit also mentioned that value prop is very important. So like Geo Cinema is a new platform which launched. They rightly target the bullseye with the IPL, getting the rights of the IPL. That yes, because they know that everybody will come to their platform. But now retaining them is going to be a challenge if they don't have other quality content on their platform. And overall for the sector, if I think other challenges which a subscription companies can have, I think is one is when you become a big company and suppose you are offering your subscription into multiple markets, payment processing can be a big challenge, which we have also seen and faced when you market into multiple geographies. It does one size doesn't fit all because you can just offer say a credit card that will work globally, but then there are a lot of localized payment services. Like in Netherlands, here there is Ideal, which is not in there in any other places. In India there is UPI or say wallet, the Paytm, those kind of services. So integrating those things, that is one challenge. And no doubt when you grow, when you scale up, with the scalability comes the quality. Maintaining the quality becomes very difficult for the company. And that I think that is again linked with the same thing. retaining the customers. So these are, I think, some of the key challenges.
Okay. So, Varun, like you mentioned that value proposition is a really, I would say, the major factor that decides the success of a subscription-based model. Like, can you suggest like what could be the key factors or key points to identify the value proposition? Like, let's say if I want to start up a subscription-based company that offers on-demand content for users. So, what kind of content should I be looking up to? Like, could you share some more light onto that? Because I see there are multiple platforms or OTT platforms that are emerging and offering subscription-based models, and the users are actually like either users end up having multiple subscriptions of platforms, or they just can't decide which platform they should own. So how as a business we can make sure that when the user is confused between all these platforms, he just chooses our, or like attracting that user to our platform, like if that you can explain.
Yeah. So Ashmit, I think here again the thing comes with the value prop, that if you are already jumping into say a cluttered market like of OTT platforms, there are so many platforms offering content, then your content needs to speak for itself. Your content needs to stand out. Or
Right.
if you are a big guy like say Geo, you can grab the rights of IPL, which can give you initial boost. But then again, it has to be something different. Or if you are into a niche market where there are not many players, your market might be small, but then that is easier to grab, because some of the sectors are very common, like say grooming or learning material for kids. But then, of course, there are very niche market also, like personalized services for pets, or say pet grooming on those kind of things. So that is one thing around the value prop, which I think is very important. And then also the marketing, because you might launch a very good service, as you said, a subscription based company, but marketing to the right people, that is very important. And also different channels, like how you are marketing, and it should be very clear that what your offer is, what your pricing is. Which Amit also mentioned initially, that pricing is very important, and more than pricing also, how flexible, what flexibility are you giving to your audience? Is
Right.
there any binding thing? There shouldn't be any hidden things. A lot of time people are afraid, like even if I go on a subscription, first I try to find out, okay, is there any binding thing? Is there any asterisk or a fine line written that, okay, if you just click this, you need to pay for next 6 months, and it is an automated payment? So those kind of things should be very clear. That wins the trust of your customer, and then no doubt the services speaks.
Got it. So, Amit, like considering all this conversation that we have, like I see that subscription-based model is actually evolving a lot. So, where do you see that this model is going into the future, and what innovations do you think are going to come up into the space?
Yeah, that's really interesting, Ashmit, because I mean we are also a part of this space now. We are also working towards changing this subscription business in a good way. So I think a couple of factors which will always remain there regarding I mean as a trend, I will say, or as something which will happen in the future, is focusing more on consumer preferences, right? And also taking care of technological advancements, whichever is happening at any particular time, right? So I mean, if let's say people are talking about blockchain these days, right? So as a subscription business, you have to understand what kind of values it can add to your business, right? You can't just go and deny that, hey, I mean, this is all a scam or something. I mean, I will look at it maybe after 10 years, after 20 years, right? You have to find the right technology for you, be it blockchain, be it any other technology. You have to be at the top of it, right? Taking care of consumer preferences, again, I will is more towards the personalization, which we talked about before. That will remain the most discussed thing as we go ahead from here. One other aspect which is a big problem right now in this space is around cancellation, right? Uh, I see a lot of tweets on day-to-day basis, right? I mean, subscribing to any business is a 10-second job, right? But
Right,
unsubscribing becomes a huge pain, right?
right,
I mean, that might take you 30 days or 60 days. You can see all these things on Twitter all the time, right? From big guys, right? So it's not that easy, this cancellation, because this subscription company, I mean, some of them think that, I mean, once you acquire the user, you have acquired, you have done your job. But That's not done. I mean, they even if they have cancellation page, they will hide it somewhere so that it's not easy for you to find, right? They will not give you a direct way to cancel the subscription, right? We know companies in European Union which are big in this space, which just takes care of cancellation of different companies in a legal way, right? So those companies exist because existing subscription companies don't take care of the customers in the best possible way, right?
Right.
So that is going to change for sure in the near future, where winning the loyalty of customer becomes the first preference rather than just acquiring the customer. uh, One other thing which should happen is globalization of subscription market, right? If let's say you are selling something in India, right, it should be super easy to sell in US market or European market, right? So that already happens with a lot of companies, but it's not that super simple still, right? That will become far more easy as you go ahead, right? So selling services or product in different countries, accepting different payment methods, that should all be very simple for subscription companies that should be able to accept it whenever it comes up, right? So basically, yeah, I mean, overall, you see our subscription model is evolving. It's ever evolving model. It's not a very old model. Again, we have to understand that, right? And it will keep on offering new opportunities for both subscribers as well as the providers.
Right. So, Amit, like this thing brings two questions to my mind. And the thing is, like, let's say you mentioned that cancellation of subscription is a big problem. So, like, is this problem because the major players want this problem to exist? Because let's say if the cancellation becomes easy, there is definitely going to be some losses on their company's part, right? Like the companies won't be able to make those kind of revenue which they are making right now. For example, I just canceled my subscription which I was supposed to take for a year, and I just ended it up after 1 month.
Mhm.
So there is a possibility that I might have a aspect of getting that money back. Like the 11-month unused period could actually be credited back into my account, or it could be a like complete failure. But let's say if I cancel it out and the company has to return that money, so the company is going to have the complete loss of that revenue, which was actually going into their pocket. So do you think like it was intentional, or like is it going to evolve in the coming future?
It will evolve, Ashmit, for sure. I mean, you can't tell to a customer that, hey, I mean, I got you subscribed
Right.
I spent this much cost to acquire you. That's why
Right.
I'm not going to easily allow you to cancel your subscription. That's not a valid logic at all, right?
Right.
Subscribers were told on day zero that you can cancel your subscription whenever you want to. If that is on the terms and conditions, it has to be followed accordingly, right?
Right.
uh, it should be super easy, and customers, we'll discuss about our what we are doing as well, right? So if you see, that's where we come in the picture as well. We want to give the complete control of subscription to the end user, right? And what it will do is basically it will create loyalty, it will instill trust among your audience base, and that is very important. If you are facing difficulties
Right.
in canceling a particular subscription, you will go and do it, and hundreds and thousands of users will get to know about it. So before subscribing in this particular world, right, where it's totally
Right.
interconnected world, right?
Right.
I think one big guy from US recently tweeted about one company. I don't want to name it. They said he's trying to cancel their subscription from last 30 days, right? He
Right.
shared all the emails and everything, right? And in that comment, I think there were easily 5,000 comments in there, right, of
Right.
different people. They all got to know about this particular company not allowing customers to sell their subscription or cancel the subscription,
Okay.
right? So it's really important for brand to take care of these things. This is really important in subscription space, and it will evolve as we move ahead.
And just adding to that, also one thing, Ashmit, which Amit said, continuing on that, is like, see, if someone wants to cancel a subscription, he will cancel it even after
Right.
facing difficulty. But that will sour the relation between the company and the audience. And then as a user, I will never speak good about the company. I will
Right.
always say to other people, yeah, they don't subscribe to those guys. Cancellation is very difficult. So
Right.
if you think the company will lose their money for sure, but they will lose a customer and maybe 10 other people also for the future.
Right.
So making
Got it.
cancellation easy is a good thing for the company, because that way they can retain the customers. But
Right.
now when we discuss about YOFT, we can tell you what is the another alternate
Right.
way to cancellation which can help company to even do better.
Right. So when I'm talking about YOFT, like YOFT can you explain what YOFT is to the users and what YOFT does? And before you answer that, I want you to answer another question, that is like uh, we talked about technology playing a big role in the evolution of the subscription based model. So how do you think is the blockchain technology and the other technology that I feel is that plays a very vital role in any subscription or any on-demand platform is the AI technology, because that is basically responsible for the personalization.
Yes.
So what are the role of these two technologies, and how are these two technologies are going to evolve the subscription based model?
Definitely. So, Ashmit, like we know, blockchain is still very nascent stage, but it
Right.
has potential to enter almost every sector, like just like internet. We
Right.
have already seen governments using it. And one of the biggest reason with the blockchain is like the core nature of it being secure and the transparency. So even in
Right.
the subscription space, when you are using on blockchain, you are making all the transaction much more secure and transparent. So that will reduce the fraudulent transactions and like identity mismatch and those kind of things. And you rightly said the AI, we are suddenly realizing the power of AI. We have heard AI from last decade that okay, AI is something, but it was not used as powerfully, which has been used in the last 2 months using Chat GPT. And now we
Right.
suddenly see all the big tech giants, they are like uh, heavy added onto the AI thing that yes, we need something the rival of the Chat GPT or say Code Whisperer or Codex, which can write codes by itself and those kind of products. And same goes in the subscription space. Personalization depends on identifying the consumer behavior.
Right.
So, of course, using blockchain, you can make the transactions and everything much more transparent and flexible for the user. And using AI, you can get the data insights by which you can make it much more personalized service for the user. And with the and another thing with the blockchain is the power you give control to the user. Because now, suppose if your subscription sits on blockchain, then the user has the complete control over it. So that also instills a trust with the data ownership and power to the user that yes, as a company, you are giving them ownership, you are being much more flexible. So that improves the relation between both the companies. And
Right.
now coming to the second part, what exactly is YOFT and what we are doing with YOFT? So with YOFT, we make subscriptions tradable for the companies. In a nutshell, if I can tell you that. And what exactly is a tradable subscription and how exactly to go about it, I will ask Amit to explain it a bit.
Right.
Sure, Varun. So yeah, trading subscription, I think it's a new way to look at the subscription space or the revenue model in subscription industry, right? As we already discussed the kind of context around it, right? What's the problem around cancellation, other stuffs, right? So we thought of a unique model using blockchain. Is that I mean, what if the customers, the subscribers, do have a power to sell or trade their subscription whenever they want to, right?
Right.
Let's say you bought, and this applies mostly for long-term subscription, let's say annual subscription. You purchase annual subscription today, and after 3 months, you realize that, hey, I don't need this subscription anymore, right? If you have an option to trade it, right, that's invaluable for the customers, right?
Right.
They can trade it off to someone else who needs it for the remaining period, who needs for remaining 8 or 9 months, right?
Right.
Now, for the brands also, if you see, they are winning in this case, right? Because in first look, it might sound like only customers is winning, but if you see, look at it closely, the brands
Right.
are able to sell more long-term subscriptions, right?
Right.
As of now, if you see, if you go to any SaaS company website, right? If you go to the pricing page, they will always keep this annual subscription selected by default, not the
Yeah.
monthly one, right? Because
Yeah.
they want to sell annual subscription, right?
Right.
But in most of the cases, I think 80% to 90% cases, people switch it back to monthly and then they buy the monthly subscription, right?
Right.
So in a way, the brands are also losing on selling the, I mean, high revenue subscription, right? And the reason behind it pretty simple, right? We don't want to commit to something for long term, right? Even if I'm getting a good discount on long term subscription, long term subscription could be, let's say, $100 a year, and monthly subscription I'm giving $20, right? So effectively, I'm giving $240 in the whole year, right? But what if the customer can buy this subscription as a tradable subscription, right? He gets the
Right.
discount as well, brands are able to sell more long-term subscriptions, and then you have, as a subscriber, you have a complete control. We call it true ownership of your subscription, which doesn't
Right.
exist right now, right? If
Right.
you have the true ownership, you can go and list it in the secondary market. Someone who needs it for that period, he will purchase it at whatever price you quote it, whatever he needs it at. And then even in that particular secondary market, I mean, these brands are making a certain money as a royalty. So whenever the trades happen secondary market, you can take 5% or 10% as a royalty of those trade, right? So effectively, what it does is it has a huge potential basically to revolutionize the whole space where you don't even have to worry about cancellations because it will never come in the picture. You don't have to cancel; you have to trade it off to someone else, right? And you will get a much better value because initially you paid lesser amount on the annual subscription as well, right? So
Right.
that's basic gist of tradable subscription, and that is what we are doing at YOFT.
Okay. So Amit, like this thing brings a question in my mind, like talking about the complete tradable subscription feature. Like if we talk, I'm not sure about the markets outside India, but if we talk about Asia and India in specific, this there's an ill practice of sharing passwords and emails to use those subscriptions. Like if we talk about major online, like if we talk about online subscriptions, majority of the people actually share those subscriptions with their friends, and the most talked about product I would say is Netflix. Like I guess even Netflix India, the official account talks about like you share, like they know that people share those subscriptions with their friends and families, and that kind of practices keeps happening in India. So like with taking that thing in mind, like how do you feel is Yoft going to help Netflix in specific? And how can we actually reduce this ill practice? Because what I feel is whenever we share the emails or like the I would say the IDs or the membership passwords, we actually let a lot of personal information transfer to the other person, and there that is where the security issue actually pops in. So how do you think Yoft can help in that?
Yeah. That's. Varun, would you like to take that question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, Ashmit, so one thing is like, as you rightly said, that Netflix already knows about the password sharing thing, and they are
Right.
already bringing different methods to curb that, and they have already started rolling it out. It is already active into the 4 countries. So it is a matter of time. Then, of course, with the technology, you are going to solve it. You can identify the IP of the person or the home base where exactly is, and you will get past that. So this sharing the password thing will go away. Still, you rightly said that of course I can share my email ID with someone or something, but that is not a organized market. It is like a very small and unsecured market. But if say Netflix offers a tradable subscription option to the people, then people will unhesitatingly, they will be just going for the long term subscription, and then they can sell it into the secondary market. Another thing coming here is like lot of expats are also like, globally, if you see the expat community, that is huge. So people travel to different cities and different countries for work for a short term period. Now suppose if I am a IT guy living in Bangalore and I am going on site for 5 months, and I already have a gym subscription, but if that is tradable with me, I can sell it to someone for say 5-month period. Like in
Right.
Yoft right now, we are offering tradable subscriptions, but down the line in the pipeline, we will also be bringing rent your subscription. So it is like you don't need to sell it to someone, but you can just rent it out to someone for a period of time, 4 months or 5 months. And someone might be there who just wants to try out the service. And the biggest part being that every stakeholder in this one, they are getting benefited by the long-term commitment discount. And for the
Right.
company, the benefit is like they customers are there for them. The customer is not churning out of the system. Customers are there, and using the power of the blockchain. Suppose if the rental is there, automatically by the smart contract, after 5 months your subscription will be transferred to you. So you
Right.
help the company also bypass that password sharing thing by making it much more like a business process for the people, and people will get money out of it. And not just the people, with every secondary transaction which Amit mentioned, like the brands, they are also getting a part of the royalty.
Right. Okay. So, like, if I understood well, like, correct me if I'm wrong. In a nutshell, I can say that Yoft is creating a place that, like, creating an organized space or marketplace for this subscription-based projects. So all the subscriptions could actually be traded or rented at a marketplace, which actually does not exist right now. And
Yes,
the inorganized sector that I talked about actually has a lot of security issues. So,
yes.
like, let's say once the YOFT starts renting out, like, starts this renting feature, can we say that, like, this security thing is going to be reduced significantly? Like, can we say that thing?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you are renting out, you are not sharing your credentials. You are
Right.
renting a subscription to someone else who will be using it, using the service or the product using their own credential. So nowhere your security is compromised. And all the transactions are transparent. Like on the chain, every transaction is visible.
Right. So, Amit, like, can you tell me, like, how does this tradable subscription model affect the businesses? And how is it going to actually affect the relationship between businesses, users, and how are you going to interact with them? Like, if you can shed some light onto that aspect.
Totally, Ashmit. Yeah, that's really important. Actually, that's what we are building. I mean, it's the relationship between customers and brands that needs to become far better than what it is right now. Right? There's always a question mark in your mind whenever you try to subscribe to a new company. On the trust thing, right? If I subscribe to it, I mean, will it be easy to cancel it at a later date, right? If will there be a hidden fee or something, right? There are a lot of questions before. I mean, you go and Google a lot of questions, right? You try to hear from your friend circle how this product is, right? Or on your social media, and then only you go and trust this brand and buy the subscription, right? With our concept, what we are looking to do is we are creating everything on the chain, on the blockchain, so that everything is transparent, right? When the subscription becomes tradable, right, on the chain, everything is visible as it is. What is the validity of this subscription, right?
Right.
How long it has been used already? Let's say if it's being sold in the secondary market, right? What's the royalty of the brand? Each and everything is visible to each and every person globally, right? So I mean, again, I mean, repeating the same thing. I mean, having the full ownership of a subscription, that's the most important thing for us, right? As a customer, if you are paying to a particular brand, you should own that subscription in a true sense, right? So,
Got it.
I- so basically, I mean, this whole process, if you see, this is going to improve the relationship. This is going to build, instill trust among the brands for the customers, right? And then engagement wise, also, it's going to help a lot in the secondary market. You see, I mean, you can find new user base for your brand, right? Who never knows about you, let's say, right? They can go to the secondary market. I mean, let's say someone is coming to Dubai for 3 months period or 4 months period, and a particular brand doesn't have any offering for 3 months or 4 months. But in the secondary market, they can go and buy that. There would be the possibility to buy the subscription for that particular period, right? So this will kind of, being a marketplace ourselves at YOFT, that will give visibility to the brand, right? That will help them build a better relationship with their customer base so that they don't have to deal about cancellations, right? And at the same time, I mean, if you see, I mean, they're making extra revenue as well. So it's a win-win thing for everyone.
That's interesting. So, Varun, like, can you shed some light on what kind of businesses are you onboarding right now, and like, what are some future prospect clients or brands that you're hoping to onboard on your platform?
Yes. So Asmit, right now, in like last few months, when we are talking to varied brands across the globe, we have tied up with several kind of organizations. Like some of the organizations who are already huge and big into the subscription space, but we have also onboarded some of the companies who are launching their new subscription services with us. Like there is a private jet company based out of India. They are launching their membership subscription with us. We have got sports organization, we have got subscription box companies who will be offering the tradable subscription boxes things with us. We have got online gaming companies, and right now we are very active and bullish on the US market. So we also have a US guy heading the complete US operation with us who is based out of US. We will also be present with our booth at the upcoming Sub Summit conference, which is happening in the May end in Dallas, and that is like one of the biggest gathering of all the subscription based businesses. We have a very good response, particularly from the US market. So that is going to be our focus for the near future, and then we will be spreading out to other geographies as well.
Right. So, Varun, with this, I guess, like, it was great talking to you, and I guess we have almost come to the end of this podcast session. But before we close in, like, do you have any points that you would like to share with the audience or viewers who are actually watching it, and who might want to get into this blockchain space? Because as we talked about all of these things, like we did not specify any technicalities for the moment. So, like for example, let's say if the people who are trying to get into this blockchain space, do you have any tips for them? Like any one of you can take this
Yeah,
question.
I will say a bit onto that. So we also understand with YOF when we are building it, we knew that more than 99% of our audience or even the brands, they are going to be complete native Web 2 guys. They are not Web 3 people, because even people who are, when we speak, say a bit of technicalities into the Web 3, one of the biggest hurdle which comes to people is creating a wallet or maintaining a wallet, how to keep the private key safe, and how is the security of that and the ownership of that. That is a lot overwhelming for people. So
Right.
when we build YOF, we have built keeping complete Web2 users in mind. So that gives them like an experience. So all the blockchain technicalities that happens under the hood, they never need to know that. They can just come on our platform, sign up normally, they can pay with their normal credit card, and it will come into that. If someone is an advanced user, they can, of course, they can connect their wallet, own the subscription, transfer it to different wallet, whatever they want to do. So even for new people who want to come into this space, first thing is this space is rapidly evolving, so you need to keep yourself updated. Like, we have integrated a wallet in our service which is provided by a third party company. They don't have a private key. It binds to your email id, so it is like a keyless wallet, you can say. So
Right.
you constantly need to keep updated yourself that what kind of new services are available which can make things easier for your audience. And second, keep your user in mind, because a lot of time you will see a lot of, say, DeFi platform or different they are scaring for most of the people. They don't know what to do. Most of the time you will find normal people who want to come into crypto. They just know that, okay, if I come into crypto, I can buy some token, it will increase in the price. They just put money into one exchange, buy some token, and wait for the price to go up. But that is not the end of it. Like, the real works happens behind, how different companies are using blockchain technology to actually solve real world problems.
Right.
So it might look scary, but if someone wants to come into this space, there is lot and lot of things yet to be done. Everyone is still exploring. So it is like a complete blank canvas for people. Whatever you draw, you are going to be it is going to be for the first time.
Right.
So just do it, and we need more people in the community for sure to for the overall growth and the trust and the adoption. So
Right. So thank you so much for Varun and Amit answering
yeah,
these questions wonderfully, and it was great talking to you. And thank you so
thanks,
much.
thanks,
Thanks,
Asmit.
Ashmit.
It was a great session for us as well. Yeah,
Our pleasure, Ashmit. It was a great
yeah.
session.
Thank you.